Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin and altcoins, a price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis. Today we're gonna see Bitcoin, FET, SUI, render, and Injective all together to see, of course, an overview for the crypto market, where we are heading, and what we might get next. So for today, I didn't do any updates. So we still, of course, exactly with the last update that I already made. We are still inside as this triangle, and I believe this triangle can, of course, expand still for a wave C, since the wave C is not taken yet, and potentially, of course, that we might get, of course, one more leg for a wave C, and then moving for a wave D and a E. Unless, of course, we have a different scenario that it might be 5 ways down here for wave A, B, and a C towards the downside, and of course taking the one-to-one fib level and then moving toward the upside as well for this scenario. This scenario is bullish, of course, meaning in all case scenarios that we have here, we are still looking for higher. I would say that we have the bullish scenario here that it might unfold on the 2 hour chart, where we have a 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and a 5. Now, this possibility as ending diagonal is out of the pocket. Yeah, I mean, this cannot be really a wave 3 here unfolding, since we don't have an impulse and then correction and then continuation toward the upside. So therefore, of course, this bullish scenario is out, I would say. But we're not totally out. The wave 4 still unfolding somewhere else here. It can be, of course, taking the one-to-one fib level, as I mentioned. With this one-to-one fib level, you can have, of course, an ABC here potentially, and then moving toward the upside for this wave 5. This bullish scenario would like to end, of course, in between the 130, preferably, of course, and then the 141 in case we get an extended wave 5. Now, this correction looks very long, and normally after a very long correction, you might get a little bit an extended wave 5, because, of course, it's a very deep correction that we are getting here. And in this case, I would say that we are still corrective and we're still looking for higher. Bitcoin did not show any bearish scenario yet, especially that this wave 1, 2, the wave 2 here took the 886, and after it, of course, reducing the possibility. And after you got just 1, 2, 3, and your wave 4 got invalidated by interfering with the zone 1, meaning any threat of bearish scenario, very bearish here, is of course out of the equation. I would say very low possibility. Higher possibility is to get a little bit lower and then moving toward the upside. Now, basically, you can say that, okay, but this might be a finished triangle here, right? You can say this. But the problem here, if you have an A, B, C, D, and an E, and especially that the wave E didn't took the low yet, I think that it might still take it. And that because, of course, the wave A is very long in time. And by the way, here, of course, it can be a zigzag. This definitely can be a zigzag, as we mentioned, and another zigzag. And now we have another zigzag as well. But this is not done yet. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Basically, if you would like to say, okay, that this scenario is starting to unfold toward the upside and this triangle is done, this is exactly the invalidation of the bearish scenario, of the bearish impulse here, where you would like to see, of course, an A, B, and a C to finish, of course, this triangle in a wave C. If the price moves and takes, of course, this invalidation, which is the price, let me make sure you have the price here, which is 106K to 130, that is, of course, an indication that this is a possible finished triangle A, B, C, D, and an E, and we're moving already toward the upside. Okay, so very possible, guys. Unless it continues the impulse toward the downside to finish this wave C, and then of course D and a E, and then of course impulsive. All right, so that's it for Bitcoin. Not so much, I would say, but internally a little bit here on the micro level, we can say, okay, that it can be done. There is a possibility that this triangle can be done, but of course to be watched. we would like to watch the 106K to 130, unless we move down for a wave C in a triangle, or a wave C in simply a zigzag, and then moving towards the upside in all case scenarios. Great. So that is for Bitcoin. Let's see FET today. So for FET on the 2 hours chart, we still have, of course, our 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 wave 1 or a wave A finish. We are looking at something very corrective, definitely here. There is nothing to be scared of. Despite the red that we are looking at and the moves toward the downside, I still believe, of course, this is a very corrective wave. If you take this part, of course, and you separate here, this is very impulsive. What you're looking at here is very corrective. So I would say this is totally what we would like to see, of course, in a bull run towards the upside, because once we finish those 3 waves corrective, we're gonna see, of course, a massive wave 3 or a wave C towards the upside. By all means, right now you are in an A, B, and a C. This wave C still need, of course, to be finishing a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So in an ending diagonal, potentially, because you have a zigzag for wave 1, you have correction, another zigzag for the wave 3, and potentially the wave 3, by the way, this is an impulse, and this is a zigzag for the wave 3. So yeah, I know that you can say that this is a diagonal here, but I don't see this a very nice wave 4 for an ending diagonal. Why? Because of course, if you compare it with the wave 2 timing, and the time that it took for the wave 2 is very longer than this wave 4. This wave 4 is very, very short. I would say that the wave 4 can, of course, have a longer time, I would say, to unfold. And it might be, of course, once we finish right now, anyways, the wave 3, which is, of course, A, B, and a C. And we might get, of course, a wave 4. It might be a little bit longer or even higher. Yeah, this is very low wave 4, I would say. And then having finally wave 5, yeah, which it's gonna hit, of course, the 0.38. Now on the logarithmic chart, as you can see, we did not hit it yet. So yes, this is a minimum requirement, guys, here. So very interesting how FET is very strong currently, and knowing that there is a lot of threats, the tension, the escalation of the wars, and so on. And FET is still holding very strong, I would say, on the logarithmic chart. 0.38 is not hit yet. I believe once it is hit, once we hit it, we might start to move toward the upside. Yep. So there, I don't feel even like any kind of fear on this chart for FET. Very interesting. If we go to SUI, on SUI, I would say it is the same like FET. We have a very clear impulse towards the upside. So if we separate this part of this wave here, we have an impulse. In this part, you can see everything is very corrective. And that means, of course, this is a bull run that is unfolding for the next few days. I would say that, or maybe, I don't know, tonight, tomorrow, maybe 2 days, 3 days, it might start to unfold toward the upside, guys. But what I know is that we are very, very close. So what we are looking at here is a potential A, B, and a C toward the downside. This is the first scenario where your wave C is unfolding as kind of like an ending diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By the way, I don't know why I deleted by mistake. Maybe A, B, and a C here. So we have, of course, this possible scenario as an ABC. Another possible scenario is, of course, a W. Here you have a zigzag for a W. You have a small X, and you got finally another zigzag right now, where you finish it today as a wave Y. And this has finished already, of course, 3 waves. And we can say, yeah, maybe SUI is ready to move toward the upside. So be careful. It might happen, guys. So with WX and Y. Now the final scenario is, of course, a potential 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and that because the wave 4 did not interfere with zone 1. However, I still, of course, see this scenario very far. I don't see it, of course, as an impulse. I see it much more as a correction. And even this wave one, it doesn't looks like really as an impulse starting. Yeah, so I don't see it really as a nice leading diagonal, which is reducing the possibility at giving higher possibility at A, B, and a C. The wave C is extended a little bit, where you might have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you might have here, of course, a W, X, and a Y already finished, of course, in double zigzag, as you can see, and an X in between as a bridge. I would say Sui also is very close to the area where we might see, of course, a finished correction. You might have even here kind of an ending, small ending diagonal. Nobody knows because you might be finishing a zigzag. A, B, and a C. Your wave C might be finishing as an ending diagonal in double zigzag, as mentioned. So I would say one more low can be for Sui. What I know is that we are very close to move toward the upside, guys. So just be ready. This is what I would like to say. Be ready because we're getting closer and closer for the bull run, guys. So for render as well. Now render went very deep. It's one of the coins that it shows deeper wave 2. It has visit exactly the golden box, the green box here for the wave 2 that we always say as a perfection, right? We have again the same thing. I would say this is a very clear impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. You have everything going on here is simply as a correction, and this correction, of course, is unfolding as a potential A, B, and a C toward the downside, where we are looking, of course, at a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. The wave 5 still need to finish also as an ending diagonal, the same as for Sui, and this is a very nice indication that most of them are finishing with the same way. So yeah, probably it is possible. Even it is possible to have kind of like an impulse for 5. The way 4 is not necessarily to take the zone 1, and simply moving toward the downside. Yeah, so it can be an impulse short wave 3, shorter wave 5. Very interesting. But what I know that is this scenario is of course very close to unfold a wave 3 toward the upside. Now, there is, of course, another potential scenario for a render where we have a bigger wave 1 here, and this might be your A, B, and a C here. However, in this scenario as well, the wave C can be finishing still, of course, there. How? In an ending diagonal, probably, right? For a wave 5. I'm going to explain. So, this is a 1, 2, and then your wave 3, 4, and a 5 currently being finished. Okay. One more leg can be, of course, the same scenario as the last one, the same finishing. You would like to see maybe one more low somehow in an ending diagonal. Also can finish at the same time an ABC zigzag toward the downside. So in both scenarios here, I'm saying that the correction is very close to be finished and done over there. Yep, so this is for render, very interesting as well. Injective. On injective, we see also very strong chart. I would say it is a little bit closer to FET here, very close to the 0.38. Today was hit finally. Finally, we see a hit minimum requirement. I mean, this is very strong. This is very strong for injective. I would say it shows strengths, the same as for FET. We have a correction, an impulse here, very obvious, and everything going on here is simply very corrective, guys. So, meaning what we are looking at right now is a formation as well for a big wave 1, 2, which is a bull run toward the upside. And injective as a correction here, you have an A, a B, and a C expanding flat. Again, the wave C is simply as 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Obviously, they are impulsive. So you would like to see, of course, wave 4, wave 5 as an impulse again toward the downside. And yeah, it can be even the wave 4, it doesn't have to be very long and very high. It can be simply small. and then of course finishing this correction and start the bull run toward the upside. So in overall, guys, I would say most of the altcoins are very close, of course, for the bull run to start. Most of them shows also potential one more low or one more leg, I would say, for the final wave 5, and then starting to move toward the upside in confluence with Bitcoin, which is also in a very corrective formation. And this corrective formation can be ended very soon as well. Let's say, of course, most of the altcoins still have one more up and down. Let's say 4 and a 5 for their ending diagonal. So probably that you might get here somehow like this. This move to the downside might finish a zigzag, A, B, and a C. And this might transform somehow, maybe even as an ending diagonal, can be as well for a wave C here, and moving toward the upside. Or it can be simply finishing today the wave C, then having wave D and a E very, yeah, because the wave E can be very short and start the bull run, guys, at the same time in confluence with the altcoins. So very interesting. Be ready, guys. And of course, this is how the Wave 2 has to play its role. It is the job, of course, for Wave 2 to create some fear and create some doubt. But I see that everything is very set and ready for a bull run toward the upside. That was it for Bitcoin and for altcoins. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.